Okay, so welcome everyone to the 2023.2 Bobcat Cycle PTG. It is our first day of the PTG. We are going to conduct 4-hour sessions for 4 days from Tuesday to Friday. It's the same time 1300 to 1700 UTC. I have sent out an Etherpad with the Cinder schedule, what all topics we are going to discuss in which days. I will paste it again in the chat for the people who have joined just now. We also have a PTG schedule where you can also track other sessions for other projects like Nova, Glance. Some major sessions I would like to just brief up about is we are going to have an operator hour tomorrow. So we had one in the last cycle and we got a lot of features, I think around 2-3 features from that. So we are going to hold the same operator hour this PTG as well on Wednesday. It is a 1-hour session. Along with that, we will be having cross projects with Glance and Nova on Thursday. The timings are mentioned in the Etherpad. If you just scroll above for the PTG quick info, you will see those session timings. So you can, if you want to discuss any topics with those projects, you can add your topics now. And yeah, we can discuss those in the cross project. So for today, we will just start with the introduction. So hi, my name is Rajat Asmana. I am based out of India. I work at Red Hat and I'm the current Cinder PTL. Yeah, that's pretty much about me. Brian, would you like to go next?
Okay, hi, I'm Brian Rossmeda. Rajat's been PTL for 2 cycles now. This is your 3rd, right? So he's been doing a lot of work for the project. Yeah, I work for Red Hat, work mostly on Cinder, a little bit on Glance, and I'm a Cinder core. And I too would like to see more people show up at the weekly meetings. So once you get to know us, feel free to come by every week. We're fun and excitement. I guess, do I pick the next person or are you going to pick a Rajat?
You can pick the next person.
The next person showing up on my screen is Eric.
Hi, Eric Harning. I'm at Red Hat, working on Cinder for a while here, based in Raleigh, North Carolina, coast of the U.S. And I don't know, do a bit of everything in Cinder and adjacent places. Like Alan, maybe next on the list here.
Sure. I'm Alan Bishop, another Red Hatter. I do some work in the Cinder, but my primary focus is on deployment tooling, Triple O, things like that, Puppet. Let's see, I think what I'm going to do is suggest we go in order of the attendee list that we've been posting in the Etherpad. So I think up next is Mateus.
Hello, I'm Mateus and I'm from Brazil. I work with NetApp team. About 1 year, and that's it.
I believe it's me now. Hello guys, my name is Kaique. I'm also from the NetApp team. I've been working with OpenStack for 2 years now. And that's it.
Hi guys, this is Kirti Vasan. I'm from Pure Storage. So I'm very new to OpenStack. Still I'm learning and I'm being here as an observer. So I'm working with Simon Doodsley here. That's all about me. I'm just learning about what's Pure Storage and what's the OpenStack and how the Cinder works, and that's what I'm doing right now. That's all about.
Hi everybody, Hello, my name is Lucas. I work at NetApp team, and that's it.
Hello everyone, my name is Luis. I'm also from the NetApp teams. I've been working with OpenStack for almost 1 year, and this is my second PTG.
Hello everyone, my name is Thiago. I work with NetApp Team 2. I'm here about 3 months, so the rookie here, I think. That's it.
Hello guys, my name is Luisa. I'm also working with the NetApp team. I've been working on the project for about 2 years, but I'm not really in touch with Cinder too much. I'm working with Manila, but sometimes there's something to do with Cinder as well, so that's it.
Hello, my name is Elena. I'm working NetApp team at 6 months, and this is my second PTG.
Hello, I'm Naim. I am also from NetApp team in Brazil. I have been working with Cinder for about 2 years. Cinder and Manila also, and I have been around for a lot of PTGs already. That's all for me.
Hi everyone, Simon Dodsley from Pure Storage. I've been working on Cinder since 2014 Juno release. I also work on Manila. I'm also a Cinder Specs core voter. And hand over to Gorka.
Thanks. I'm Gorka Leor. I work for Red Hat from Madrid, Spain. I've been working in Cinder since 2015, I think. I do a bit of Cinder, a bit of Spec, a bit of OS Break, and that's it mostly. Sophia?
Hey, my name is Sophia. I'm based in Ireland. I've been working with Cinder for almost 5 years. And I'm a core and also working on the Outreachy internship with Rajat. Manoj?
Yeah, hi, I'm Manoj. I'm from India. I work for Red Hat. I mostly work on Crypto deployment related stuff and supporting Cinder and also Ceph. To Tushar.
Hi everyone, I'm Tushar. I'm from India on NEC Technology. I'm working in Cinder from last 2 years. Okay, next. Philip.
Hello everyone, I'm also part of NetApp team, and I've been contributing for Cinder and Manila, I think, since the shoe release, so it's almost 3 years, something like that. And I think, that's it. Hopefully we have a great week, as we do normally, with good discussions. So see you around this week. Sorry, my camera is not working. I think next is Jen.
Good morning, everyone. JP, working at Dell, responsible for our drivers regarding the IDMC storage portfolio and other vendors. I've been working for Cinder since last year. I'm still learning, and I started to work with Manila as well. So that's it. Thank you all.
Great. So anyone who is left who hasn't introduced or hasn't written their name, they can write their name and also introduce themselves if they would like to. Okay, I think that's all. Yeah, great attendance this time. I think there are more people from Red Hat than Red Hat this time. So yeah, really great to see that. So there are a few announcements. You might already be familiar with them or not, but yeah, just to announce them. We have recently released 2023.1, 2023.1 Antelope release. So that is out. So yeah, congratulations and thanks everyone for making it possible. Next, we have the project update. So we had this Infra Live. So it's a live update on YouTube. You can watch it. So it was a session recently conducted where all the projects gave their updates. So if you would like to know what all is new in Antelope, so I remember, I think Nova, Manila, Ironic, and Cinder gave their updates. So if you want to follow up what all changed in the Antelope release, you can watch that. I have pasted the YouTube link in the Etherpad. So yeah. And finally, we have secure RBAC discussion today. So it's just right after the Cinder session ends. So if it's not late for you, then you can surely go and attend. It's 1700 to 1800 UTC. So yeah, they might have some updates for us as well. Okay. I will just update the infra channel. So you can also join the OpenStack infra channel to follow up like what all topics are ongoing. I will just paste the channel link. Yeah. So you can join this channel on IRC, and here every project updates what all topics are ongoing and the next ones. So I will just do that right now. Okay, so yesterday I attended the TC+PTL interaction. There were few things that were discussed, and I'm not sure how relevant other topics are for Cinder, but this one I thought this was a good discussion there regarding the new contribution. So yeah, they were just concerned like regarding new contributors, but like what is the barrier of entry for a new contributor, why we are not receiving new contributors from time to time. And even Outreachy interns are not able to, like a lot of Outreachy interns are not able to make it. So these were few things that were noted down from the discussion. I can also link to the main Etherpad where all the discussion points are there. I just picked up few of them. So one of them was regarding the Gerrit interface. So yeah, I didn't have any comment regarding that. I find it easy, but I have been on using it since many years, so I'm not the one to say that. So yeah, this was one thing. I mentioned that for Cinder, for Outreachy contribution, we skipped DaveStack this time, so we received more contributions. And I got to know like some of the projects already don't recommend installing DaveStack. Like I think Sylvan, who is the Nova PTL, he said when he mentored some interns, he never asked them to install DaveStack, at least for initial times when making their first contributions. So that is good to know. Like this is already a practice being done for initial contribution. I'm sure like if there are any functional changes, like any bug fixes or any new features, they surely recommend using DevStack to test it out thoroughly. But yeah, for getting into it, it seems to make sense what we did this time. And the last point they mentioned was like OpenStack requires more of a Linux, Linux and cloud knowledge, which is on a much higher level than other open source projects. So that might stop some people from contributing into OpenStack. So yeah, these were the points. Anyone would like to discuss this or have anything to say about this?
I was very surprised about, I mean, right, I'm not surprised that not using DevStack has helped people contribute because, but I was very surprised to hear that other projects feel like it's not that important. As long as the other tests are passing, one of the reviewers will catch it if there's something bad. I mean, so DevStack, if you start with a clean VM and it's Ubuntu, it tends to install okay, like 80% of the time, but every so often I have to just blow away a VM because I don't know, something hasn't gone right. And I know when working with the interns, like when we've done the Grace Hopper stuff, if we don't have everything set up in advance, forget it. You just spend the whole time trying to get DevStack to run. So I don't know. So I guess I feel two ways about it. It seems like the infra team thinks, right, we're running DevStack, hundreds of thousands of times a week, and it goes fine. Although we all see, right, instances where something crashes and one of the jobs doesn't complete. So I don't know. I mean, I really liked DevStack when I was starting out because it was so freaking cool to have an entire cloud in your laptop and you could play with all the, I mean, we had fewer APIs back then and they had fewer commands, but you could do stuff. It was pretty cool. So I think DevStack's kind of important, but on the other hand, yeah, it seems like either it goes great and it's fine and there's no problem, or when you hit a problem, it just sucks. And so anyway, so I think not coming up with problems that could be solved by our Outreachy intern hopefuls that didn't require DevStack really made a big difference. And I think they may have a better attitude and be willing to take the next step if they get the internship and, run DevStack and work with it. I don't know what I'm saying, so I will shut up. So, but I was very surprised that I expected people to be more hardcore, like you got to run DevStack or else, you're wasting everybody's time. But that's not the feeling.
I agree with you. And kind of interested in particular for Outreachy because in the first application period is less than a month. Sometimes trying to understand dev stuff from someone that is just starting is kind of tricky. Maybe introduce DevStack in the internship period would be better than expect the intern to deploy it only for the application period. I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely, I mean, DevStack is really useful because it's the only way you can actually play with Cinder. Well, not the only way, but it's not the same. Just git clone the Cinder repo and run the test. But yeah, I don't know. This was the first time we skipped DevStack for the first contribution, so I don't know really.
I think that's a great idea because I can only imagine somebody junior coming to try to write code and be overwhelmed just by everything they have to know. As in, DevStack, the different services, how to decline this, that. It must be overwhelming to. Plus, how to contribute. Gerrit, yeah, not talks if they haven't used talks before. Definitely too many things. Then commit messages. Yes, it's not write anything. No. We have a guide. Please read that guide and follow everything we say there on how to write a good commit message. Yep. Too many things to learn.
And I guess,
believe,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just was going to say something that I think you said before, Brian. If DevStack fails, basically you're done. As somebody new, if your DevStack doesn't work, you're done. You're in a month, you're not going to get anywhere. And that's rough.
Yeah, and the other thing I was going to say was, so I'm talking about my first DevStack experience, but it was based on Screen. It was a lot simpler. I mean, it's gone to systemd, but as far as like looking through the logs to try to find stuff, they all still have the old Screen names. So for someone new trying to like just comprehend the way it's put together, it's it is a real monster.
I remember, I think the main argument regarding like against DevStack was like some contributors don't even run linters, so their pet also fails. So it's better if they start with the basics, like at least run talks jobs, and they can focus on DevStack later. Yeah, so I think Brian pasted out a link. So it's regarding the basics of Linux. So I haven't gone through the contents, but I think it's a fairly basic guides to get someone started with the practical knowledge needed in Linux.
Yeah, I just wanted to paste it somewhere so we didn't lose it. So that might be something good to put in our internship info, just as, some general background stuff.
Yeah, and the name is very catchy, so I think more people will hit that link. Okay, I think we are going in the right direction then. So from next time onwards, also we can kind of skip DevStack for new interns, and even in the events like Brian mentioned, Grace Hopper event, we can have a DevStack environment set up or just ask them to contribute without it. So that would be helpful going forward. Okay, so Manila has a guide for Outreachy.
I think they are starting a new wiki, because also one problem that we saw on the mailing list regarding applicants is time they try to run the tests in Cinder without a virtual environment. So gather all these common questions and put it there or somewhere, I guess. That's mainly that.
Okay, yeah, that might be really helpful. Because I assume a lot of similar questions come up every time.
Yeah, just looking at that, I wasn't thinking somebody might try to run DevStack like right on their laptop, and then if you have a bad experience, you might have to reformat your laptop before you get everything back. That would be a real barrier to contribution.
I don't remember, but do we mention that like you have to mention like run this into a new VM and please avoid that, like some warning, please avoid doing this in your laptop.
I thought we did, but I don't know.
Yeah, they do mention that there is a warning there. Only run DevStack on servers and virtual machines that are dedicated to this purpose. Okay, I have added an action item. I will just scroll down the Etherpad.
Hi guys. As a newbie to OpenStack, I just like to tell my experience about DevStack. So when I tried in bringing up the DevStack in Red Hat recent version like 8.6, there were some dependency issues which I couldn't recollect. So I was searching for the error till now, but somehow it was lost. But one thing saved me from keeping the DevStack quickly up and running was there was a line mentioned in the document to use. It works well with Ubuntu, some 22 version. So I just swapped to Ubuntu and it works great. So that's how I got out of this DevStack installation issues and those. That helps.
Yeah, I think we have a history of DevStack not working very accurately with CentOS or Fedora. Like I have tried with CentOS 7 a few years back, but yeah, I didn't have much luck. But yeah, I'm sure some people must be running with CentOS and fine. But yeah, there should be some customization to be done to it. But in Ubuntu, it works most of the time.
Yeah, I usually run it with CentOS or Fedora for that same reason, to make sure that it still works. Because most people run it in Ubuntu, so if there's anything wrong there, it will be caught immediately. But CentOS, if nobody actually uses it, it will keep on degrading. It breaks, nobody notices. It breaks somewhere else, nobody notices. So yeah, and yeah, it's a bit frustrating sometimes. Though lately it has been pretty stable, at least if you use CentOS 9 stream.
Thanks, Gorka, for keeping it working as it is.
Yeah, don't try running it in CentOS 8, please. It's yeah, then you're going to find problems, definitely.
Okay. Yeah, I can try my next installation on CentOS 9 then.
Yeah, I last time I don't know I have automated the creation of my VM for DevStack development, and I forgot and I had changed it to CentOS 8, and suddenly things were failing, and I didn't know why. It's like this should work. This has been working lately, and then I noticed, oh, this is CentOS 8. Let me fix that, and then everything ran fine. Oh, 9 is stream. Yep.
I'll just quickly check if we have that in our runtimes as well. Okay, we do mention CentOS Stream 9, so we should be good there. Okay, I guess with that we can move to our next topic, which is the retrospective. So yeah, it is kind of okay. Yeah, Brian.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the other big discussion that happened yesterday was about time zones and having meetings. So just eyeballing this, it looks like we're probably in a good spot, except for you, Rashad. So you're on the outer edge, you and Manoj. But it looks like Brazil, I mean, we're probably okay. Although on the other hand, right, if it's really bad time for people, they're probably not here. But I don't know what I'm trying to say. So it looks like we're probably in a good place, meeting time wise. But people should feel free to, speak up if the weekly meeting is inconvenient to the point where you can't really attend and it affects your, participation.
Yeah, Brian, thanks for mentioning that. I was also initially thinking of adding that discussion, but we didn't have any proper conclusion, so yeah, I wasn't sure if what what to say. But yeah, even for me also, I think it's pretty much fine. I have attended some late night meetings after midnight as well, so this is usually better time for me. The Yeah, my points regarding that discussion was some meetings are way out of my time zone. Like, as I mentioned, the Secure RBAC one, which I wanted to attend in last few cycles also, and this time also it's at 1700 UTC, so it's pretty late for me. So that's why I wanted to highlight that in the yesterday's meeting. And I also mentioned like this time has worked for Cinder. So in this time we had contributors from China also joining, and also from like I think from both extreme ends we had people joining at this time. So yeah, I did mention to the TC like this time has worked for Cinder. So maybe if you want to be more exclusive about time zones, then they can consider this particular time as well.
I know that Swift always splits the PTG into two times for the meetings. So for people in my time zone yesterday, they have the meeting up to from 8 p.m. to 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. or something like that. That's, I think it's Monday and Thursday, or Monday and Friday, they have that time. And then another 2 days, they have it in a more reasonable time, like in the middle of in my time zone, in the middle of the day. So I'm really glad we don't have that. That, like you were saying, it seems like people are kind of okay with it this time for the meeting, because staying until 2 a.m., it's a bit painful.
Yeah, that's.
It seems like it's when we have the physical PTG and we're all in the same space, we're all in the same time zone, and it seems to work okay, right, for like maybe the first 3 or 4 days before jet lag finally hits you, and then the last day you're just wiped out. But we're all in the same place, and so it's a lot easier to schedule things and just actually be there. And I don't know that anyone's come up with a virtual way to do that, because we're all tied to our time zone right now, just in the way we're living. So it's really hard to make an adjustment to, start meeting at 2 a.m. I don't know, but I'm hoping there's some kind of technology that I'm not aware of that would make this work better. But maybe that's what Meta is working on.
What you need is a clone, Brian.
Yeah, I'm afraid if I cloned myself, there'd be like one smart one and one stupid one. Or it would just average out, and then that wouldn't work either. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Anyway, I
think
guess what I was asking was, does anyone have any brilliant insight into how we could handle the time situation? Just want to
I
make
think
sure I'm
there
not
was
missing something.
I think there was another point mentioned regarding the asynchronous conversations. Like some of our discussions happen async, like on the mailing list and even on IRCs, like when someone is around, they can reply. So that is also good for, I think, for making voting discussions to be more inclusive of other people in different time zones. We can keep those discussion in async times, and also the mention of recording the meetings, like people can watch it in their time. But yeah, these are just some things that improves the situation, doesn't fix it overall, because again they don't feel like they're participating while watching a recording. So
Yeah, I guess what we can do is, so that the TC has, as part of the bylaws, if there certain types of proposals, you have to wait at least a week before it can be decided. So we could sort of have the same kind of thing. Although I don't know that as a project we make any momentous. I guess if anything really major comes up, we could discuss it at a meeting and then say we'll vote on it next week, and then that way, anyone who missed the meeting or is in a bad time zone can read through the transcript and then, either email or something. I guess the main message is just we're aware that there can be problems with the time zones, and we do want to adjust so that people can participate. But we also need to adjust to the people who are contributing right now so that they can participate fully. So we're always open to ideas, I guess is the main thing.
Pete
Yeah,
mentioned.
Yeah, and that's why we had that. I think Pete was the one who brought it up. That's why we have that policy when we do the video meetings once a month, that anyone can just say, "Hey, I'd prefer to do it in IRC." Although we haven't had many takers. But yeah, I know if I had to do this in French, I would.
Yes. For better or for worse, OpenStack is structured around meetings. That's how the whole community operates. And that was a big culture shock for me. That's probably when I mentioned it, like very early on. But if I were to start a new project today, I would absolutely insist on email, even though it's like very old fashioned and everything. And, it's just helpful, I think. But we have what we have, so it's okay. I'm just saying that we possibly might want to lean on the list a little bit more that we have available. I'm talking about OpenStack-discuss.
Yeah, that's a good point. And so you might be a good person to remind us of that if we're having a discussion about something in a meeting where we really should make sure it's on the list. Because I've gotten into the habit of just assuming people will read the meeting log. But you're right, that if it's in the email, then you can just reply to it. Instead of initiating a conversation, you're just replying to something that started, and I think that's probably easier.
Right.
So,
Well, we have a couple of, we have some people here disagreeing with the email, and that probably is a matter of preference. And another thing, look at OpenStack. The traffic on OpenStack-discuss is puny compared to Linux kernel. Because I'm used to that amount, this is just nothing. What are you guys talking about? But I guess for some people, it is an impediment to sort all that junk and stuff. So that's completely legitimate. I'm not saying that we have to switch or anything like that.
I think each has its own advantages, like meetings have a faster feedback mechanism and more active participation. In emails, like with my experience, like I leave mailing list threads open for weeks and I see no replies there. So, yeah.
But probably in this, I would have to say that Pete is probably right in your complaint that you leave a mail and nobody replies, because we are accustomed that that's not how we do a lot of the communication. So because that's not our primary way of communication, you don't give it as much priority as IRC meetings. But if that were our main communication mechanism, I'm sure people would pay a lot more attention and would be more active.
Yeah, anyway, I think I want to stay constructive about this. And another thing, in our times, email requires more technical support, or not technical support, that means, but basically like better filtering than it used to be. So you really have to have a email client set up and have procedures in place that allow you to respond timely and have this discipline. It's probably too late to establish anything like that in OpenStack. We just have our own ways of doing things. But looking into OpenStack discuss once in a while is still helpful. We still have people who try to obtain help there, and mostly new people outside of the community. Right, I think I dragged us away from the topic when to set up the meeting, what time zone.
I think our topic was just, we like things the way they are, but we're open to other suggestions. And just because things are the way they are, people should feel free to, suggest stuff.
Well, I have to say that I do read the logs once in a while, although not regularly. Mostly when I miss a meeting or something like that. I talk about IRC.
Particularly for the Cinder PTG, so when we decided up this time, I think it was around Xena or Yoga, when Brian was PTL. So when I became PTL, I used to ask for timing suggestions, but I didn't get any because I think people are comfortable with this time. And so yeah, I didn't ask this time, but yeah, it's really a good thing. Like if you don't feel comfortable with certain time, like I would like to mention, I think Josephine mentioned that she would like to discuss her topic early on Wednesday. So I have scheduled it that way. So if you have any topic and you would like to discuss it in a time that is convenient in your time zone, then surely you can let me know and I can do that. So yeah, open to suggestions. Okay, I have added not exactly an action, it can be a conclusion, but yeah, just to keep track of this, feel free to schedule topics at your convenience. I mean, if it will be feasible, I would surely like to do it. So I think with that we can move to the next topic. I will again update the OpenInfra channel. So yeah, so this one is kind of a team activity. So I have made 4 bullets. What was good, what was bad, what should we stop doing, and what should we continue doing. Yeah, I think I have taken it from somewhere. So yeah, feel free to add it. I've already added 2 points. We got a new core, John Bernard. Congratulations, John. And one thing bad was
Thanks.
Yeah. And one thing that was bad was we delayed RC1 and RC2 due to that multi-dash fix, which I think from next time we can delegate to the next cycle, because it caused problems for Tempest team and release team, and I would really not want to do that from the next time for them. So yeah, feel free to discuss anything or add your points, and if you just want to say it out loud, I can add them to the Etherpad. So yeah. Okay, we have a point, I think. But yeah, I will just wait for everyone to finish, then we can discuss. Okay, I think we can discuss the current points. If people would like to add more, they can. So first one is regarding what should we stop doing. So yeah, I'm not sure who wrote this. So yeah, the practice of so this came up, I think, because we started having too many topics in our weekly meeting agenda with review request. So I think someone proposed this idea of just having a separate section where people could just put their all the review request, and I think it has worked for me. Like I have started to pay more attention because these are in a condensed format in a particular place. So it's easy to keep track of all these reviews, the things that we need to review. And I think we finished most of them. Regarding the point of review-a-thon on Fridays, so we conduct the Festival of Access reviews, but also when there is a deadline around, like for milestone 2 or 3, we try to get some important things merged. Like we did a Festival of MyPy reviews, and we also did some feature reviews this time and NVMe of patches. So from time to time, we try to prioritize the items that are needed for that particular milestone. So we have done that. I'm not sure how that will work out every week, because even in the monthly ones, I think we have less number of attendance. So yeah, I'm not sure if people are willing to show up weekly for a review fest, but yeah, always if people are interested, then we can surely conduct that as well.
That's a good point, because you're right. The last few festival of reviews has been like really, really sparsely attended. So I'm wondering I think it's useful, but I wonder if people are starting to think it's outlived its usefulness, or do we need to promote it more so people are aware, or what should we, it might be that since I've got it on my calendar, I remember it, but maybe other people don't. It'd be worth discussing that, because it is, I would probably still do it even if it was just myself, because it is, I just dedicate a couple hours and power through a whole bunch of things, which is kind of nice, but I don't know. It would be more fun if there were more people there, like in the old days.
Well, I think some of the shine has worn off. A lot of the, I can mix my metaphors, low-hanging fruit has been harvested in the past. So it's like, oh, this again. I think maybe if we shifted focus a bit, this gives me a chance to touch upon my own request, which I couldn't quite fit into the questions asked in the Etherpad. But what if we had a festival of, and everybody could bring their own list of, this is my hot button review, and I'm thinking primarily of bug fixes where maybe our company has a customer waiting for a fix, and maybe you're trying to backport something, but the festival of hot button reviews, which may not be all small, unfortunately.
I actually like that idea, Alan. I think there's a time when, certainly as vendors, we have those critical patches that we need to get in, critical bug fixes that our customers are waiting for. So yeah, I think that's actually a good idea. Maybe once a month, and maybe no one will turn up to one of them because there's nothing on anyone's hot list. But and you're right, not all of those things are small. Some of them can be medium, and some of them can even be large issues.
But yeah, I guess the advantage, even if it's kind of large, because like sometimes when I'm reviewing driver things, I have questions about, how does your API work, or, the driver may make certain assumptions about the data it's getting that I'm not aware of. And so if the person's there who's got the patch up, then that is, you know, they're right there to ask them and you can get a quick answer. So that is a good idea.
It is, because the other thing that happens with driver patches and bug fixes is that you know, someone puts it up and then they don't turn up to the weekly meetings. They just sit there waiting for it to be responded to and approved. And you're right, you guys as cores don't necessarily understand every back end to the nth degree, particularly the APIs. And so having those people online, and it's then their responsibility if they want that patch to go through and be approved, turn up at this review, which is specifically for, I don't know, let's call it driver reviews or something like that. Doesn't have to be just driver reviews though.
We did have a lot of driver patches in our review request, so that's kind of majority of things. But yeah, we should be open to everyone, like other contributors, to also be interested in joining this.
I think the other thing as well, if we do it like that, is we can then, it gives us the ability to speak to the people who are in those vendors and make sure that their CIs are doing what they're supposed to do as well. Because a number of the times we've got CIs that are not reporting on those particular patches, or, you know, even now we're at the point where people are still running Focal and they should be running jamming. You know, we need to get those all resolved as well. And this is actually a good, it's a good entry point for a conversation with those vendor driver contributors to make sure that their CI systems are okay, and we can explain to them, you know, you've got to get your latest master PRs all done on Jammy. You can keep Focal for the old stuff, but Jammy has to be done now. You have to be using Jammy. And if you don't, we're not going to approve any patches. You know, that's a really good forum for doing something like that.
That's really a good idea. I have been planning to do the CI compliance check, but yeah, every time I think there is some task that comes up and I end up doing that and not the CI compliance check. But yeah, I will again try to do this time.
Yeah, it's top of my mind at the moment because I've just been redoing our CI and making sure that the right branches are being done on Focal or Jammy. So I've just been going through the whole branch stuff and redoing everything with the release of with Antelope. Obviously, you know, those third-party CIs all need updating.
So maybe we should switch the Festival Extra Small reviews to the Festival of Hot Button Issues. And then we still have the dashboard. So if we show up and in the unlikely event nobody else does, there's a list of little things that you can knock out real quick. But that might be a good.
I wanted to give a thought on that. So I kind of like the idea, but it also worries me as someone who routinely submits patches that like clean up broken unit tests and just various maintainability code kind of stuff. I had a patch the other day that was just fixing some broken unit test stuff that took a year to merge. And my concern is that between the extra small review fest idea and the I have an important customer fix review fest idea, and we need to review these patches for the feature freeze, and we need to review this for this other thing, it's going to become impossible for me to find a place to get people to review stuff like broken unit tests that are not exciting.
Oh no, Eric, I think that you could absolutely, I'm not saying that it should only be for drivers. You know, absolutely, that would be the place that you could turn up and go, hey, this is a critical unit fix. It's been sat there for 6 months. We need to get this fixed. Can we just review it? And it becomes a forum for you to bring up exactly that sort of thing.
Well, I think we might need to have a organized one that just looks at stuff that's been sitting for a while, because I've been seeing this for the last couple of years, and it's I don't really like showing up to the weekly meeting just to repeatedly say, someone please look at this patch. And we can, but I think every time we decide that that's the answer, it just means something else is not going to get looked at too.
I mean, maybe there should be a review done of all outstanding patches. You know, how long they've been there and who owns them, and do we need to abandon them, and what do we need to prioritize? Maybe that should be an action we should take out of this, is go and do that and come up with a hot list of old things that need looking at.
Yeah, I've occasionally done that in our bug tracker, and you find interesting stuff if you go look hard enough.
I think part of the problem also is down to IRC, is there's no way of sending, or there may be, but I don't know about it. Maybe we need a way of sending a message out to all cores. You know, if you put your name, if I put Brian or Rajat's name in there, they get pinged, but there isn't a single one that will ping all the cores, which would be really helpful. And Brian's grinning because he doesn't agree with that.
Yeah, I'm thinking I don't have that. No, so what I do is I just have a list of the cores, because there's only like 7 people, and just hit that.
Yeah.
So it is possible to do it, but I don't
Yeah,
suggest,
it's just
because you kind
not
of make
not everybody from all the storage vendors. I mean, if you went and asked all these NetApp people who are on this call now, do they know who all the cores are for Cinder? They'd say no. And they certainly
But
wouldn't know the IRC names.
that's a good point. So we should, we've got a place you can look to see all that info. Where should I put this on here? So that thing I put on line 113 takes you to our So You Want to Contribute page, but that's got a list of all the repos that, it seems really basic, but it's got a lot of information on it. One of the things it's got is a link to the core list. So anyway, it's good to go through. Got the list of the repos, what Cinder monitors, some tasks that we do, stuff about writing release notes, and I don't know what else. But there is a link to the core list.
Yeah, I just pasted that specific one, but yeah, surely visit the one Brian posted. It has more information than just the core list.
I had no idea it was 10.
Yeah, I think we have cores that aren't very active every cycle. Like I think Ivan might not be active every cycle, but he comes from time to time and does some reviews and contributions. it's good to see like the Access Review Festival is in the continue doing list also. And of course, I think everyone likes the video meeting once a month. So yeah, that's been helpful. Okay, any other thing anyone would like to mention in the retrospective? So basically the idea is to gather feedback so we can start doing new things or stop doing what we shouldn't be doing, like these kind of things. So just to get some feedback on how we are going. Okay, I think that's all for this discussion, and I will just update the OpenInfo channel. So I just remembered we also have this button in BlueJeans, which does some spotlights, and if someone would like to dedicatedly press that button after every topic, so we can have spotlights in the recording, that would be helpful. So any volunteer? So I can't do it because I don't have that button. I'm not sure why. Maybe it just shows up on the web version. But yeah, if we...
I can do it, although I'm afraid I'm going to forget. That's why I didn't volunteer. But I do have that button, which I didn't think I did.
Okay, I think it's on the left side in the center.
All right, I'll go ahead and push it.
Okay, yeah, thanks, Fran.
Okay.
And also one other thing is that we have this courtesy ping list. So if you would like to be reminded for any topic, you can mention that. I didn't put timings on topics because some timings run more than their dedicated time, and some topics run more than their dedicated time, and some topics don't finish early. So you can just add your IRC on the courtesy ping list, and you will receive a ping on OpenStack Cinder channel regarding the topic being discussed, like he did for backup improvements. I think he left for a Keystone session, so yeah, I will ping him once we start that topic. So with that, I think we can start with Outreachy Overview. So Sophia, over to you.
Hey, yeah, I proposed this before knowing we already gonna discuss about Richie. So could be a little saying the same twice. But if I can't share a screen.
Sure, I will just unshare from the other laptop.
Try. Okay, doesn't me.
Yeah, I haven't set anything, any restrictions here, so it should be able. Okay.
Okay, can you see the presentation? Because I lost you. I don't see
I
anyone.
cannot see it.
Yeah, I forgot. You lose. You can't see anybody else when you're presenting, which
Okay.
is bad.
Do you
Yeah,
see my presentation?
Yeah,
No?
we see that.
Oh,
I
okay.
do.
Ooh, it's only
No?
me then.
Ah, it's fine. Good to know. Okay, so I will try
Yeah,
to make
now
it.
I can see it. My bad.
Okay, I will try to not take too much time because we already talked about Outreachy a moment ago. So it's basically to do.
Sorry, Sophie, I don't know if it's just me, but I'm seeing the speaker notes and not the actual presentation.
Yeah, I'm seeing speaker notes.
Okay,
yeah, it's
let
usually
me try
painful
again.
to figure out which window to share. Yes.
Oh, geez, Gorka. Look, on my massive screen, that's really scary, seeing your head. That's in full size.
And I since I left the link because it doesn't. I don't see many options on it. Can someone share the presentation? And I speak.
Yeah,
No.
I can do that. Yeah, just let me know when to switch to the next slide. I will try to
Okay.
present it.
Oh, thank you so much, Rajat. Sorry. I should have tested this before. I only see one option of sharing, that is the full screen, which is not what I want. Okay. Okay, so thank you, Rajat. Okay, I'm gonna start. Maybe we can move to the next one. And yes. So this is just a brief introduction, a brief summary of what's going on. I mentioned Outreachy many times, so maybe most of you already heard me talking about Outreachy a lot. So I just do a little update on Cinder, and maybe wants to be a mentor in the next round, how to collaborate really briefly. Okay, please next slide. So, well, summary, I said this a million times, but Outreachy is a program that helps unrepresented groups get involved in open source. It's a paid internship for the interns. It's not paid for the mentors. It's fully remote. Both interns and mentor work remotely. And it's a 3 months internship, run from May to August and December to March. We are now in the May to August internship period. Okay, next slide, please. So basically, this is the timeline. You have the presentation link in the Etherpad. But basically, we are in the we are finishing the application period, and next week will be for Rajat and I, which are the mentors for this round, the selection process, and the final decision will be published in April. Okay, next one. So I think this is an important thing today. We have 6 applicants for this period, which was March, which is really good because last time we only had 1. And 4 already made 1 contribution that has merged. and one is about code, the rest is about typos. So it's kind of an improvement. Sadly, we only have funding for one intern. I know in another round in the past, we were able to hire more than once if the contributions were really good. I'm not sure it's going to happen this time. But anyway, it's really good. And luckily, we'll have an intern the next 3 months. So that's really cool. And the internship project involves extending the Cinder API reference documentation with functional tests. And well, the mentor already said is Rajat and me. And yep, next slide, please. How to contribute? I already reached for help on Outreachy before, so thank you so much. That has helped reviewing on Garrett or replying to the mailing list. Yep. Next slide, please. And last but not least, maybe want to mentor next round? Why not? As a mentor, you will work with an intern over 3 months period to help them complete a project. This could be in Cinder, or if you are working as well on Manila or the project, that could work as well. And during the 6-week application period, you will commit to review small contributions made, obviously by the intern, about 5 to 10 hours a week. This in this case was this month, the application period. And once the intern is selected, the mentor would commit to work with the intern for about 5 hours a week during the 3 months internship period. Being a mentor, it's a great opportunity to help the community, to also practice mentoring skills, and could be really cool. So if you are interested, you can first read all the duties in the Outreachy website, and then contact the coordinators for Outreachy on the mailing list. I forgot to mention that. It's a pretty straightforward process. And next slide is the last one. It's just for saying thank you again, and for questions in case there are any. If not, the presentation with some links are on the Etherpad. That was the idea, very briefly. Thank you, Rajat, for sharing it.
Yeah, no problem.
I
just
don't know
wanted
if
to
you,
ask about the other topic we proposed for Outreachy, that is the OpenStack client work. So we had some open works for OpenStack client. So John, I think, was mentoring that project. I'm not sure what's the status of that. So do you have any idea? Where is it? Or John could tell us.
As far as I understood, it was not approved. But yeah, sadly, I think it was not approved for the coordinators. I don't know, John, if you receive another date. But I know.
I remember John mentioning it that it was proposed, but yeah, I don't remember exactly, but yeah, John did tell that he didn't receive any application, and as you said, like maybe it wasn't approved. Because
Yeah. Sorry, second.
yeah, I was just saying like that is, I think from a community perspective, that is more important work towards the unified CLI than the functional test work. This is also really great to do.
Oh.
But yeah, from current perspective, I think that was also important.
Oh. Okay. Well, I think this is a problem about finding funding in general, because when I talk with the Outreachy coordinators in OpenStack, they were struggling to find some funding, and also Manila and Glance where are looking for interns. So I guess they choose to do one for each. And since I proposed this project before John, maybe they prioritize this one. I think that's what happened.
Yeah, makes sense. And yeah, Sophia, thanks for the great presentation and all the overview. And I would like to mention, like, Sophia is doing all the hard work. I'm just helping in reviewing the Outreachy patches and
Yeah.
everything. But yeah, Sophia is carrying forward the whole Outreachy thing. So thank you for doing that.
It's fine. Thank you, Rajat.
I will just share the Etherpad again. So I assume, Sophia, this is the last slide, right?
Yes. Sorry. This is the last. This is the end of the presentation.
Okay.
And also
Yeah.
the topic in general. Thank you, Rajat.
Okay. Yeah. Feel free to ask any question. I was just switching the to the Etherpad. So yeah, please continue if there are any more questions on this. I assume there are no more questions about this, but yeah, I do feel Outreach is a very great initiative to attract new contributors. And yeah, thanks, Sophia, again for this. So I guess we can take a quick break do people agree with that, or we can discuss another topic and then take it, because we have 2 topics remaining, so I thought good time to take a break.
I'm okay with a break.
Okay, so
I'm always okay with a break.
Yeah, good to know. Yeah, team is agreeing on that. So yeah, we can take a quick 15-minute break. I can check the time in UTC. So it's 14:30. So yeah, we can resume at 14:45 UTC. I will just highlight this one. Okay, we will resume in 15 minutes then.
All right. See ya.